I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad,
yeah.
Baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious, I'ma go cause some pain, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame, yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad.
I won't obey. You cannot tell me what I cannot say. I'm here to last, so yeah, I'm here to stay. I'll live each second like my final day. You can't take that away, yeah.
Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad.
Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad.
I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even though I'm so stressed out. Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out.
But something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Fuck your lies, I'll do what I want.
The gas in the bag, focus left, never left. She's so bad that the can't take the bag. The gas in the bag, focus left, never left. She's so bad that the can't take the bag. The gas in the bag, focus left, never left. She's so bad that the can't take the bag. The gas in the bag, focus left, never left. She's so bad that the can't take the bag.
I'm inspired by thirst, I'm inspired by worth. I desire your worst, so you can just hide while I work. I ain't tired, you first. I'll write a second, third verse about the lies you go disperse. You never did shit, I know it hurts.
Something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Fuck your lies, I'll do what I want.
The gas in the bag, focus left, never left. She's so bad that the can't take the bag. The gas in the bag, focus left, never left. She's so bad that the can't take the bag.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we're making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays.
Good morning, sports fans. My name is Ray Cruz. I am the host of another edition to the College Breakdown on the All Sports All Place Network. We got an action-packed show ahead of us. We're going to dive right into the 2023 college football previews. Continuing on, we're going to be focusing on the Mid-American Conference, which is known as the MAC, the Mountain West, and the PAC-12 Conference today. So we're going to get this show started here. Join me on Wednesday at 9 to 12. Wednesday at 9 to 12. We're going to be breaking down the SEC and the Sun Belt. And then we're going to talk about the Pac-12 situation with the conference and stuff like that. We'll get more in depth in that detail. But right now, we're going to break down these great conferences here. Join us here. We're going to start with the MAC Conference, the Mid-American Conference. And which one is up? We're going to go with the Akron Zips. They're going to be the first one up here on the day. We begin with the Akron Zips, who had a tough 2022 season with a 2-10 record overall and 1-7 in the Mid-American Conference. However, they showed promises and competitiveness under Coach Joe Moorhead. Guidance, the Zips had lost 5 games by 1 score and a solid passing game highlighted their offense. They could be more dangerous team in 2023 with some key transfers and returning players. What we're talking about the Zips offense as a potential with a solid quarterback could be an option and talented with skilled players. The passing attack that led by quarterback DJ Irons was impressive last year, but they need to improve their offensive line to avoid giving up too many sacks. Yeah, he goes under pressure all last season. He was running for his life most of the time, but transfer to Lazario Lingard from Drake Anderson is a running back positions should blossom their ground game. What's the outlook on their offense? On the defensive side there, the Zips defensive side, Akron shows a promise in their latter part of the season, allowing opponents to score 28 points or fewer in 4 of the last 6 games. However, they must improve their pass rush. Their pass rush was awful last year. They couldn't get off the ball. So hopefully they can fill the forward by left. Departing player in the linebacker position. What's the one key of the Akron's success this season will be to reduce turnovers. They've been on a 28-game losing streak when losing the turnover battle since 2018. That's a long streak there, and then it needs to be broken this year if they're going to have any good shot. If they can protect the ball better, they can flip some close games in their favor. What's some key players you're going to look for? The Zips top transfer running back Lazario Lingard from Miami will play a crucial role in their offensive attack. They'll miss linebacker Jalaz Bogain, who transferred to Louisiana Tech, but they have a defensive end named Ryan Johnson who needs to step up in the pass rush. He's got to be the big key on the defensive side for the Zips if they can get into some gameplay here in 2023 and get to a bowl game. Look at it. The prediction going here for the Akron Zips in 2023 season is a win total of 4. I expect an improvement. Coach Moorhead's second year, but they still face a tough schedule. A home game against Moorhead State, Buffalo, and Kent State provides an opportunity for wins, but they'll need to steal a couple of road games to reach the 4 to 6 win range. Well, let's talk about the competition here in the MAC. Ball State Cardinals. We're moving on to the Ball State Cardinals. They had a 5-7 record overall, 3-7 in the MAC last year. However, they were just 1 win away from a 3rd straight bowl appearance. Coach Mike New team has potential, especially on the offensive side. What are we talking about on the offensive side? What kind of improvement, what kind of strategy are they going to do? The Cardinals offense struggles with scoring efficiency and downfield plays last year. However, the Kent State transfer running back Marquise Cooper joining the team, veteran and quarterback Land Hiker leading the passing attack. They can be more dynamic this season. Continue looking at their offensive and their defensively. Defensively, the Cardinals showed reliance despite their struggles against the run and generate takeaways. The defensive line has talented, but they need to find a consistency pass rush from the outside linebacker core. A key for Ball State's success will be getting their downfield passing game going in 2020. In the 2020, their MAC title winning team averaging 9 yards per throw, but it dropped to just 5.7 years last year. They'll need quarterback linebacker to skill to be utilized efficiently. Ball State's top transfer running back Marquise Cooper comes with an impressive number and will be the centerpiece of the running game. What are we talking about here? The top returning receivers. Wide receiver Nick Presley must provide much needed protection. What kind of outlook are we looking for Ball State? Are we really looking for a tendency of Ball State here? Ball State Cardinals in 2023 season is a win total of 5.5. They have the talent, experience to compete for a bowl berth. What kind of improvement were they going to have on their scoring? They got to improve their scoring efficiency, and the defense has a shot at the MAC title. So that's what we're looking here at Ball State right now. The Cardinals. We got the efficiency on the offense and need to get some more points in production. They got to get in that red zone. They got to score. I think they were like 35% getting into the red zone and not scoring and kicking more field goals. They got to turn that field goal ratio back into touchdowns, have more touchdowns than field goals in the red zone. They got to be more efficient in the red zone. If they got a shot, they got to be over 65 to 70% in that red zone area and getting scoring by touchdown more than what they did last year with field goals. So that's a little bit of outlook there for Ball State. Who we got coming up next on the heels of Ball State will be Bowling Green, the Falcons. Now let's talk about the Bowling Green Falcons, who had a breakthrough 6-7 season in 2022. What makes it to a bowl game for the first time in years. Under Coach Scott Leffert, they are looked to build on that success. What kind of improvements that we see on their offensive side here? They must show more consistency and efficiency. And again, that's a big consistency and efficiency is big in football. You get in that red zone, you got to be efficient and you got to be consistently getting touchdowns, not kicking field goals in that red zone. That's most teams have the problem there. Their offensive line is struggling in pass protection and run blocking. Last year, averaging just 100 yards rushing per game. However, quarterback Connor Bazelak, coming in from Missouri, a top target, OD Hollier returning, they have the potential to improve. Defensively, the Falcons generate backfield pressure and thrive on takeaways last year. Their strength lies in the linebacker position, led by linebacker Demetrius Hardman and defensive tackle Anthony Hawkins up front. So we got to look at some of the things here we're talking about on the offensive side of the efficiency and consistency. The linebacker core is their strength. The defensive tackle got one in nose guard. He's got to be in there forcing some sacks and getting the ball back to the offense. Offense got to prove themselves to the defense. And once you get the ball back to us, we can score. But the key to Bowling Green's success will be forcing turnovers, what I just talked about there. They will have their 3 or more takeaways last year. They went 4-0. They need to maintain that momentum in the upcoming season. Bowling Green's top transfer quarterback, Connor Bazelak from Indiana, will bring SEC experience, stabilizing to their quarterback position. On the other hand, they will miss wide receiver Tyrone Broden, who transferred to Arkansas. So you see they made a 1-1 switch with the SEC there. They took a quarterback out of Missouri from the SEC, and then their star wide receiver went to Arkansas out of the SEC. So basically, they did a trade type deal, if you want to go NFL terms there. So what's the outlook on the Bowling Green, the prediction here for this season? My prediction a little bit here is Bowling Green Falcons' 2023 season is a win total of 5. Could be win total almost 6, maybe 5 and 6 is the range right now. While they had a breakthrough season last year, they'll need to improve on both sides of the ball. To continue that success, they have the potential to push for 7+ wins and contention to a bowl game. Well, that situation there too, could hands on their pressure on the offense and consistency on their pressure on the defense, consistency with their offense. So that's got to be a little bit of a missed time, a miscalculation there. That to get that, if they get their nuance that they need to go, they could win that 7+ games. So, how about the Buffalo? Next team we're going to be talking about. We're going to move a little bit here because I started a little bit late today. So I'm trying to get this done so that when the afternoon show come on, there have the air. I won't be trying to finish up, and y'all have to go over to the afternoon blitz and miss some information. So I'm just going to keep moving right along here. The Buffalo Bulls. What can we say about the Buffalo Bulls, who had a solid 7-6 record with an overall 5-3 in the MAC last year under Coach Marquise Lindquist? They made a strong comeback in the MAC play after slow start. Can they build on the momentum in 2023? That's going to be the question. We're going to try to provide some little bit of that answer here today. The Bulls offense had a decent balance with enough passing power to keep defense honest. They'll need quarterback Cole Snyder to improve his accuracy with a new receiving option, but their running game should be more consistent with veteran offensive line. What can we look at the Buffalo's defensively here? Defensively, the Bulls excels on third down and generate takeaways. The loaded secondary, led by All-American, All-MAC linebacker Sean Doliak, could be the top position group. Buffalo's key to success will be sharpen their passing game. Snyder accuracy dipped last year completely under 60%. They need to return their 2020 MAC title winning formula when they averaged 9 yards per throw. What kind of outlook are we going to look here with the Buffalo's top transfer edge rusher, Jair Stevens from Lafayette, brings size, production to add their pass rush. They'll miss safety Keshawn Cobbs, who transferred to West Virginia, but Stevens could make an impact right away. What kind of prediction are we looking for the Buffalo Bulls here in the 2023 season? I have them basically winning 6 games, getting bowl eligible. It might take them a few games to find their rhythm again, but they'll be dangerous in the MAC play once they do. I expect them to push for a winning season, potentially a shot at the MAC title. That's another thing, too. That's where you got the consistency right there we talked about. We talked about very consistency of their offense and their defense, and the defense has got to provide pass rush. If they don't provide that pass rush, then they won't be able to win that MAC title. I still have them about 6 or 7 games. They could win the MAC title if they can get the consistency going. The next team we're going to be talking about, let's talk about the Central Michigan Chippewas, who had a disappointing 48 record overall, 3-5 in the MAC last year under Coach Jim McElwain. They'll look to bounce back and avoid a back-to-back losing season. What kind of strategies, what kind of offensive things, and what kind of coaching strategy we're looking at here for the Chippewas offense? Let's talk about it here. Chippewas offense struggled moving the chains effectively last year. It sounds like more like what he did at Florida too. Florida had the same problem with McElwain at the helm, moving the ball with efficiency passing, too many turnovers. Exact same formula down in Florida that he had. Their offensive line must improve pass protection and run blocking to blossom their ground game. What kind of defense are we looking at here for the Chippewas? On the defensive side, the Chippewas generate backfield pressure, thrive on takeaways, but they need to improve their run defense and generate more pass rush. If you don't generate that, stop that run defense, that run can cause a lot of havoc, can cause a lot of issues on the back end of the plays when they go with play action pass. They have to provide that more run stop defense. The key from the Central Michigan success will be forcing turnovers. Their turnover margin has been an issue. They need to turn it around, have a successful season. What kind of top transfer prospect we get here? We got Central Michigan top transfer quarterback. So I mean that's going to be the quarterback transfer in here. So that's got to be something that we got to really look at here coming up in the play. My prediction for the Central Michigan Chippewas 2023 season is a win total of 6. They have the potential to improve under coach Jim McElwain, but they need to fix their turnovers. I don't know about what McElwain does. Right now, the ability of winning games has got to be his first number one issue. We know what he did down in Florida. We know that it wasn't very pretty down in Florida at times. It wasn't very, what I could say, sniffed the way they're talking here about him. But he needs to fix. He got to learn from the mistakes that he made down in Florida and turn it around here. What can they do to fix this? Like I said, they need to be sharper on offense, and defense. And that's something about Michael Wayne's team is his offensively are not very sharp. Defenses are okay under his coaching tools, but his offense needs to be sharper and they're more of a turnover machine. And he's got to find a winning formula. And once he can find that winning formula and win consistently, then he might be okay to move, a coach in the thing. But right now, I don't have that look at for him right now. But this could be the first, a winning season for him, and a bowl game is achievable. Everything in the MAC is achievable. I mean, from head to toe in that conference, it's going to be, people battling for that number one position to win the MAC. So that's got to be something you got to really look at here. And Central Michigan Chippewas, they have that shot. They have that ability to do that. So, I mean, I have them getting about 6 or 7 games, maybe, if they can turn over, if they get consistency on their offense and defensive side. But if it doesn't do the same thing and they turn the ball more over, then it's going to be a losing season for McElwain. And then I think he might well just stop trying to be a head coach and go back to being, I guess, a coordinator or something. Or, it's time for him to say, okay, I'm done. So, this is gonna make or break him here. I think he's on the hot seat too. Central Michigan don't, since on the flack and all them had that winning season and stuff like that. Now they're having 2 straight losing season, could be possibly third. It's gonna be them Chippewa fans are not gonna like it too much. We're gonna move right along here. We're gonna move right along to the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Now let's take a look at the Eagles here, who had a solid 9-4 record overall, a 5-3 in the MAC last year. Coach Chris Kerrigan has done an excellent job with his program, and they will be eager to make it to the MAC championship this year. What kind of strategy and coaching implement on the offensive side that we can see improvements for the Eagles? The Eagles offense needs to be replaced. 7 starters. So there you go right there. First key off the top. The offense needs to replace 7 starters, but they have potential at the power run game with running back Samson Evans leading the way. But their offensive line needs to provide reasonable protection for their new quarterback. There we go. We're talking about the offensive line, that up front group. They don't get enough praise up front and don't get enough recognition up front by the media and stuff. But the offensive line has to win battles, have to win the Grinch, has to win the line of scrimmage. If the defense if the defense resets that line of scrimmage, what the offensive line needs to do, they need to establish their dominance. They need to establish the offensive line where they're at and then improve it each down the field, knocking their defensive guys off the ball. So the running back can have holes and get up the field and get into that secondary where, sometimes the backs will miss tackles and they can break for a long game. But that's something that they got to look at here for Eastern Michigan. They got to really, really, really chomp down on the offensive line and find a consistency in that run block and not allowing the defense to reestablish the line of scrimmage in the backfield. That's got to be a key. Always on the offensive side, The offensive line is the key to get the successful offense. The defensive line has to the offensive line has to block them defense and blow them off the field. That's got to be the key. That's got to be the most key of what you're looking for in Eastern Michigan here this season. What can we see on the Eagles defense here? The Eagles struggled on third down, but excelled in generating turnovers. But the deep defensive line is strong and all MAC linebacker. You know, they have an all MAC linebacker there who is leading the way. So, I mean, can we see Eastern Michigan keys to success will be winning more home games? They struggled several home MAC games last year, which cost them a chance at the MAC title. You got to be strong at home. The road games are going to be tough for you, but you got to be strong at home. And then you're losing more games at home than, several games will kill you in a competitive conference. And like I said, they killed them last year for the MAC championship. What can we look here? The top key plays. Eastern Michigan top transfer quarterback Lim Watley Neely from Indiana will add size and experience to their corner position, losing top cornerback John Sanders stings, but Watley Neely should fill the void. My prediction for Eastern Michigan can win 7 games. They can compete for the MAC title with a solid defense and potential improvement on the offense. But I expect them to have a winning season and contend for the conference title this year. So what can you really say about that? Is they have to get the running game. The offensive line has established. It's going to be the key on the offensive line to establish that line of scrimmage and backing their defensive guys, not letting the defensive guys reestablish the line of scrimmage in the backfield. That's going to be the key for them, for Eastern Michigan. How about the Let's go back to Ohio. How about the Kent State Golden Flash? Move on to the Kent State Golden Flash. His 5-7 record overall, 4-4 in the MAC last year. But Coach Kenny Burns is taking over this year, and he'll have the challenge of rebuilding the team after a significant roster turnover. Yes, Kent State was hit hard on the transfer portal, and a lot of people graduated out. Kent State's offense, who took Georgia last year to the limit. Kent State's offense, once known for its flash fast style, will now focus on a power run game with a veteran offensive line and running back K.Y. Thomas and Xavier Williams. They have the potential to be a firm on the ground. So they're going to stop taking it from the air back to the ground, which I think is kind of a good move for them to establish a running power game. Then you can flash in your little fast place passing game. The defensive Golden Flash must rebuild without their top players. The defensive line will be crucial in different positions to watch. The key to Kent State's success will be leaning on the run game. Running back K.Y. Thomas is coming with experience to have a run of over 800 plus yards in 2021 at Minnesota. Kent State's top transfer quarterback Hayden Wolf from Old Dominion could be the answer at quarterback. If you didn't watch Hayden Wolf, he was pretty good at Old Dominion University and there in Norfolk, Virginia. Could be the answer at quarterback. He might be the one to stabilize the position after last year's uncertainties. So that's the mentality of the last year, was their missing identity of the quarterback. So Hayden Wolf could be that answer and establish that position. What can we look at the 23 season for them? What kind of prediction? Could be another 4-win with a significant roster turnover. Tough road games ahead. It might be a challenging year for Coach Burns in his first season. Around 4 and 6 wins could be a real reasonable expectations, but they could exceed. They could exceed the expectation because college football is unpredictable. But they got a lot of holes they got to fill, and they coming out of spring practice, people are saying they didn't look too good, so they got to go into fall practice, and hopefully they can get everything situated that they can get back into winning ways here. But I don't see them winning. I think they're going to go 4 and 6 this year. Maybe see them next year, improve towards the end of the year, leading into that next year role thing. How about the Miami University Redhawks? The Redhawks were 6-7 overall, 4-4 in the MAC last year. Coach Chuck Martin had successfully produced bowl appearances, and the Redhawks will aim for another strong season. Miami's offense will be relied on experienced quarterback Brett Gabbert who is returning from injury. Their offensive line needs to improve for a better ground game. Once again, that offensive line issue has come up again for teams. They got to reestablish. They got to establish the offense, not letting the defense reestablish them. If they can dominate that offensive line and push them back and keep forward that offensive line, and their line of scrimmage keep moving forward, that running back could get outside and get into the secondary, and anything can happen in that secondary for missed tackle. What can we look at defensively? The Redhawks had a solid defense last year, ranking first in the MAC, scoring and run season reason. They'll need to find a way to generate more pass rush, improve their third down performance. Once again, that third down performance on the defensive side, you don't get off the field, it gives more plays for the offense, whereas your defense down, and now your offense or your momentum on you head on offense is not there no more. The key to success will be a running the ball better. They averaged just 3.8 yards per carry last year, which is not very good. You need to average over 4 to make it a dominant running. But they went 5-1 when rushing for 120 yards plus. That's a good key there. Miami's top transfer is offensive tackle Sam Vaughn, who will be a crucial part of the offensive line. His return from injuries will provide much needed stability. Well, that kind of prediction I look at for the Miami Redhawks in the 2023 season is about a total of 6 wins. Coach Martin has consistently produced competitive teams. I expect the Redhawks to have another winning season and potential compete for a bold berth. That's going to be the key. You want to potential get into that bold berth. How about Northern Illinois Huskies? Now let's move to Illinois Huskies, who had an impressive 10-4 record overall, 6-2 in the MAC last year. Under Coach Thomas Hammock, they made it to the MAC championship game. Can they continue that success? Well, we got to look at here. We got to see what they lost on the offensive side, but the Husky offense has been dynamic. They'll continue to rely on strong running game with quarterback Dustin Fletcher, leadership, and running back Harris Wabley and Clint Redfield. They'll be a force on the ground. So that's what they're going to do, run back committee. You're going to have a firm out there. If they can get that running game established, they could be dangerous there. They have a good quarterback in Dustin Fletcher who can throw the ball, but they got to get that running game. They got to keep, and the offensive line's got to protect them a little bit better too. They shouldn't not allow a lot of sacks like they did last year. Defensively, the Huskies were among the MAC best in scoring defense takeaways. Their linebacker unit, led by Lance Devereaux Jr., is their strength. So the linebacker core and Lance Devereaux Jr. is their strength. So what the defensive line needs to do, push the offensive line back, let the linebackers float and get them tackles and stop that running. But they got to get better on that third down efficiency, getting off the field. The key to Northern Illinois' success will be their rushing attack. They led the MAC in rushing last year and looked dominant on the ground again. Northern Illinois' top transfer defensive end Mike Green from Arizona will boost their pass rush. They'll miss quarterback Jayden Thompson, who transferred to Oklahoma State, but Green should make an impact right away. You got to have that impact. You got to have that impact guy on the defensive end who is going to cause havoc, making them double team, and that's going to free up some other players. So he's got to rush. He's got to cause havoc and get into that backfield and putting pressure on the quarterback. What kind of prediction I look at for the Huskies in 2023 season is about they're going down a little bit here. They're going to have 8 wins. Coach Hammock has built a strong program, and I expect the Huskies to be a contender in the MAC West and have another successful season. Because could we see another bowl game on horizon? How about let's move right along to the Ohio Bobcats. Moving on to the Ohio Bobcats, who had a 6-7 record overall, 5-3 in the MAC last year under Coach Tim Albanian. They'll look to improve their consistency and compete for a MAC title. What kind of we say here for the Bobcats offense here? What kind of efficiency last year, especially in the passing game? They'll need to continue that production in their offensive line. They must improve in protecting their quarterback. Once again, we have seen teams over and over has failed with the offensive line consistency of moving that line of scrimmage forward not letting the defense move them back to reestablish the line of scrimmage. Offensive line has to win the battle on the offensive side. When their defense comes on, what kind of defense we're looking at? Bobcats need to generate more pass rush, improve their third down performance. And again, that's another thing that we're talking about here. The secondary will be crucial position to watch. Their secondary is going to give up a lot of big plays if they don't put no pass rush and getting the quarterback off key here. The key to Ohio's success will be their passing game. They're averaging 8.6 yards per pass last year and needs to maintain that efficiency. Ohio Bobcats top transfer running back Shaif Seymour from Toledo brings experience and production to that backfield. He should provide a spark for their running game. They need a spark from somewhere. My prediction for the Ohio Bobcats in 2023 season is 7 wins. Coach Albane has a solid team, and they have a potential to compete for a winning season and potentially a bowl berth. So let's move right along to Toledo Rockets. Now let's talk about the Toledo Rockets, who had an 8-6 record, 5-3 in the MAC last year under Coach Jason Candle. Their aim to continue their tradition of competitiveness. They're a very feisty team. They competitive. They play from start to finish. Even if they get blown out, they do not give up. You can see the fight in the team. You can see the coaching in this team. The Rockets offense is known for its explosive passing attack, but they must improve their ground game. Ground game, offensive line again. With a new quarterback and a strong receiving core, their pass game should continue to excel. Defensively, the Rockets struggles against the pass last year, but were solid against the run. The secondary will need to step up. That's the big key there. The secondary was the letdown of that season. Their passing attack will be the key to Toledo's success. They led the MAC in passing yards per game last year. They'll rely on that firepower again. Toledo's top transfer is wide receiver Tyrone Rodden from Kent State will provide a big target and experienced receiving core, losing top receiver Isaiah Winstead stings, but Rodden should fill that void. So you lose one great player, you're hoping the next player will step up, and that's going to be the key there. What kind of prediction I look for in the 2023 season is a total 8-win season. With the potential passing game and a potential improvement on the defense, they have potential to compete for a winning season and a bowl game this year. So that's going to be the big key takeaway for the Toledo Rockets. So we're going to go back to the great state of Michigan there and the Western Michigan Broncos. Last but not least, let's look at the Western Michigan Broncos, who had a decisive 9-5 record overall, 6-2 in the MAC last year under Coach Tim Lesser. They made it to the MAC championship game. Can they repeat that success? We have to take a closer look at this here. The Broncos offense was explosive last year, especially in the passing game with quarterback Caleb Eleby leading the way and talented wide receiver core. They have the potential to be one of the best offense in MAC. What can we look at the Broncos defensively? The Broncos were strong in generating turnovers, but struggle against the pass. The secondary will be a crucial position to watch. Repeat, the secondary will be the crucial position to watch for Western Michigan. If they give up a lot of big plays and they can't get stops or they can't get turnovers in the secondary, this could be a long season for Western Michigan, for the Broncos. The key to Western Michigan's success will be their passing attack. They averaged 10.5 yards per pass last year and need to maintain that efficiency. So there you go. That's a little bit of a breakdown of the Mid-American Conference. You get a little taste there. Here, let's talk about some of the players here. Western Michigan's top transfer, linebacker Rico Jeffers from Texas Tech brings size, experience to their linebacker unit. This presence should blossom their defense. I can't talk this morning. What can we see here for the little bit of the prediction out here for this Western Michigan Broncos season? They could win a total of 9 games, but I think it's a little bit too high. I set them a little bit too high of a bar, but it looked good on paper. I'm not going to kind of stick with it. I think it could be anywhere from the 7 to the 9 win range. With the high power offense and potential improvement on the defense, they have the potential to compete for the MAC title once again. What kind of overall here that we're looking at here? We see the preview of the MAC conference. We cover each team coaching, their strategy, offensive key players, their predict win totals for upcoming season. It will be an exciting year of football in the MAC. We can't wait to see how it unfolds. I will be breaking down. I will be taking a break, and I'll be right back with the Mountain West Conference. You are watching the College Breakdown Show with Ray Cruz. I am your host on the All Sports All Place Network. We'll be right back.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays. Like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the College Breakdown on the All Sports All Place Network. I am your host, Ray Cruz. Today, we're going to dive right back into continuing with the college playoffs here in this next few minutes here with the Mountain West. We're going to spend some time in the Mountain West Conference. We'll be covering each team, coaching strategies, offensive, defensive, overall conference outlook, the key to the game. Let's jump right into it. Hey, let's go here. Let's go right into the military side of the house. Let's go to the Air Force Falcons. Here, the Falcons had an impressive 10-2 record overall and a 5-3 in the Mountain West Conference last year. Under Coach Torrey Calhoun, they've been a consistent force in the conference. What kind of little strategy on the offensive improvement can we look here? Air Force runs that triple option system, which most military academies do, but with been a receipt for success despite losing key players like fullback Brad Roberts and quarterback Hazard Daniels. They have a solid returning roster, but defensively, the Falcons returned 8 starters and their secondary led by safety Camby Goff, Jaden Goodwin, and Trey Taylor is particularly strong. Can they win that Commander's Cup between the Air Force and the Navy and the Army team this year? The key to Air Force success will be their ground game. It's kind of funny, unfortunately, we're talking about the ground game instead of our aerial tag for the Air Force because we know they're high flying part of the Air Force there, the flight and stuff. But we're talking about a ground game as they lead the nation in rushing offense last year. They'll be tough to beat if they continue dominating the ground. They got to continue dominating the ground. Air Force top receiver, wide receiver, Keyshawn Singleton brings size, and talent to their receiving core. However, they missed the versatility of quarterback Hazog Daniels, who played a crucial role in their offense. Quarterback in the triple option is the crucial role of the offense. He has to make the decision if he's going to pitch the ball or run the ball, and if he's going to give the ball up to go up the middle. He is the crucial playmaker of that triple option. He runs that offense. He's the catalyst. He has to make the right read, make that triple option work. What kind of prediction are we looking for the Air Force in 2023 season? Is a 8-win season with a strong defense and a potential Russian attack, but they should be competitive in the Mountain West and have another solid season. So we're going to talk about a little bit about the Air Force here. When the Air Force has to make that transition, what teams need to do there is got to force stopping the triple option to make them a passive team. That's how you really can stop the Air Force attacking these triple options. But one thing about the triple option, if you're not really prepared for it, is all those cut blocks at your knees that defensive linemen don't like. They don't like somebody trying to take the leg out as a legal block. All the offensive linemen doing it is just diving down and crab walking. I call it a crab walk. They get down, they go down, they take your legs out. If the defensive line don't have nowhere legs, they can't get no leverage on you. So you have to win the defensive line against the Air Force. Will have to win the battle against their offensive line because they know the snap cam, they know what they're going to do, they know that. But you got to have a defensive lineman know they're going to try to take your legs out, because if you don't have no legs on you, you cannot try to generate a pass rush. And they can dictate the pace of the offense and dictate the pace of the game. So the Air Force needs to know that. The Air Force does know that. They have the situation for key things. But they did pass the ball a little bit more than what Navy and Army did last year. But still, teams have to prepare for it. They have to prepare for the cut blocks. They have to prepare for getting off the ball quicker and driving that leverage. They got to get leverage against Air Force. Or if not, Air Force is going to run you to death, and they could have a predictable, could be more of an 8 and 9 win season, maybe 10 win season again. So we're going to keep a look on the Air Force side here of coming things. Let's talk about Boise State Broncos. What can we say about the Boise State Broncos, who had a 10-4 record overall and a perfect 8-0 record in the Mountain West last year? Under coach Andy Avalos, they'll look to continue their winning ways. The Broncos' run game, led by running back George Holloway and emerged quarterback Talon Green, has been a strength. They must rely on that balance again, especially with a stricter schedule, a much tougher schedule. Defensively, the Broncos have some key departure but their linebacker DJ Scram and experienced defensive back will anchor that unit. What kind of keys are we looking at here for Boise State's success? Will be maintaining a solid ground game, running the ball effectively, and has been a hallmark of their winning season. Getting back to running the football consistently. That's got to be the key. And once again, we're talking about the offensive line's got to regenerate that and get out on the run block. Boise State's top transfer, edge rusher Kevon Wright from Boston College, should boost their pass rush. However, they'll miss the presence of defensive tackle Jackson Cavers. What kind of prediction we're looking for Boise State this season in the 2023 season is a total of 8 wins, getting back on that winning track. They have a challenging schedule, but their balanced offense and experienced defense would keep them competitive in the Mountain West title race. Excuse me. What can we look at Colorado State Rams? Now let's turn our attention to the Colorado State Rams, who had a 3-9 record overall, 3-5 in the Mountain West Conference last year under coach Jay Norvell. They'll look to improve their performance in 2023 season. Colorado State offense struggled last year, but they added a JUCO running back Keyword Edwards, and a quarterback Clay Milton to boost their backfield. Quarterback Clay Milton improvement will be a crucial need for the Colorado State Rams to try to get a winning season this year. The Rams were decent last year on defense, but they'll need to optimize their quick hitting offense and rebuild their offensive line. Once again, they get another team in a different conference, still with that offensive line struggles. And I've been saying consistently on this show today that the offensive line has to reestablish that line of scrimmage, not letting the defense reestablish into the backfield. What kind of keys are we looking at? The key to the Colorado State success will be scoring more points. Of course, most teams need to be scoring more points. Their offense had too many red zone failures last year, costing them close games. What we talk about efficiency in that 25 and then is getting touchdowns, not kicking field goals, and not getting stopped. They had a lot of stops on fourth down in that red zone area. They have to improve that if they want to continue to try to turn upward in this season. Colorado State top transfer, offensive tackle, Savon Henderson will be essential in protecting quarterback Clay Milton. They'll need his experience and size on the offensive line. There you tell me right there, their offensive line was oversized last year, outmatched against the defensive line. What kind of prediction we're looking? I don't see them breaking a 6-win season. I think it's still going to be in the 5. Maybe next year they might show some of the stuff. So we kind of see how everything is going here. What can we look here at this season here for the challenge and more competitive in the conference? Yes, I can see that a little bit here. So I mean, you got to look at it. It's 5. I mean, still face some challenge and competitive in conference. So I don't see them be doing too much. They haven't had a good season in the last 5 or 6 years, and I think the Rams are still going to be doing the same thing. Moving on to Fresno State, the Bulldogs, who had a 10-4 record overall, 7-1 in the Midwestern Conference last year under Coach Jeff Tedford. They've been consistently and successfully. Fresno State offensive needs some retooling after the departure of quarterback Jake Henger and other key players. USC transfer quarterback Mickey Keene has enormous potential and will be a crucial part of their offense this year. So that's something we got to look for here. So I mean, that's something you got to really look at here on that thing for Fresno State here. They got USC quarterback Mickey Keene, who could be a potential crucial of that place. I mean, what kind of defensively we're going to look for the Bulldogs here? What kind of defense aggressive but struggling against the top ground attack, stopping the run would be crucial for their success. There's a lot of issues on that defensive side last year. They were getting run over. They got no aggressive. They got to find that aggressive like they had before in the 10 years of Fresno State. You know, Fresno State was known for their hard-nosed defense, running the ball attack, and sprinkling passes here, and had some key success doing that. So they got to get back to that winning way of that. The key to Fresno State's success will be shoring up their run defense. They were undefeated last year when they allowed under 165 yards rushing. So they got some improvement there, showing that they can stop the run. When they did, they were undefeated. But if they can keep teams under 165 yards rushing, that gives them a good chance to win. Fresno State top transfer wide receiver Jalen Gill brings talent and experience to their receiving core. They'll need him to step up in being a crucial target. So that's going to talking in hand to hand there. Keene's got to throw to Gill, and they got to be persistent. Well, what do I look here? I think Fresno's get back to their winning ways. I think they're going to have 8 wins in the season. They have some challenges ahead, but with a strong defense and a few upsets, they should compete for a winning season. So that's a look at the Fresno State. Hey, let's go out to the land that I lived at for 4 years. While I was in the Navy, I was stationed at Pearl Harbor on the USS Cushing D 985, the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Now let's talk about Hawaii. The Rainbow Warriors, who had a 3-10 record overall, 2-6 in the Mountain West Conference last year under Coach Timmy Chang, one of the returning quarterbacks who's now coaching his alma mater. They'll look to turn things around in 2023 season. Hawaii's offense showed potential last year, especially in their efficiency, effective run game. They added UAB, University of Alabama Birmingham transfer running back Taylor Hines to boost their backfield. So that's a big pickup there from UAB. Defensively, the Rainbow Warriors show improvement last year and will need to continue that process to be competitive. You know, Hawaii had that winning ways, you know, upsets here and there, and came on the scene and had some good season and had some good bowl games there while I was there in Hawaii. And the key to Hawaii's success will be converting on third downs and improving their pass efficiency. So that's something that you really look at here. The third down, you got to convert your third downs. If you convert, you keep your defense on off the field and keep your offense going and wearing out the top team's defense. Hawaii's top transfer cornerback Cam Stone should specifically boost their secondary. They'll need his talent to strengthen their defense. What kind of prediction I look? They're still going to be under 6 wins. I think they have 5 this year. I think they showed some fight last year, improvement. With some offensive tweaks, they could push for more of an upset and maybe a bowl bid. That's realistically, they could get 6 wins, but I don't think they get no more than 5 this season. I think they could keep it improving as Timmy Chang gets himself going, acclimated into the coaching there. I think they can get themselves really, really into a position to contend for the Mountain West in future years, but not this year. Let's talk about the Nevada Wolfpack. Let's talk about the Nevada Wolfpack, who had a challenging 2-10 overall record, 0-8 in the Mountain West Conference last year under Coach Ken Wilson. They'll aim for a better performance in 20. It can't be no worse in 2023 than they had last year. The Wolfpack's offense struggled last year, but they bought in transfers like quarterback Brendan Lewis, running back Sean Dollars to spark the improvement. The Wolfpack defensively have been working on rebuilding and has added transfers to strengthen their unit. The key to Nevada's success will be finding something offensively and leaning on its defense. Has improved, but they need offensively consistency. Let's talk about that a little bit here. Let's talk about a little bit of their defense that needs improvement here. If you go 0-8 in the Mountain West, that shows me that your defense is not really being competitively into that thing. So I mean that's something you got to really look at here. Let's see. Mike says, "Hey, Nevada's top transfer, Ken Lewis, brings experience and mobility." I agree with you. He does. That's gonna give them a better avenue. Get the defense got to worry about his legs and his throwing. So that's going to get the Wolfpack a little bit more versatility on their offensive side with his mobility and experience. But the thing is, can their offensive line establish their offensive line, not letting the defense reestablish their line of scrimmage? If they can force their way and get consistent with the run and adding his legs to it, that could possibly give them what they really need here. Jay says, he says, "Oh, hot." He shows hot. Yes, I'm trying, man. It's hot. It really is hot here in Florida. Yeah, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. This is where I show. My show is in my house, in my studio in Florida. Linda says, "Nice." Yes, nice indeed. But let's go here. Let's talk about, we talked about the Lewis and the experience and mobility and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's got to be really, 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 that's got to be really what we're looking at here into this, and its mobility and their offensive need and improvement is provide stability and orchestrate offensively improvement. So that's something you got to really, really, really look at here on their offensive side for Nevada. with Lewis's mobility, his experience, and his thing orchestrating the offensive improvement. But now we got to look at the defense here, and can they get any worse than they had last year? 2-10, 0-8 in the MAC. Wait, my friends, Nevada fans, I'm giving you 5 wins this year because the improvement on the offensive state, Lewis's stability on the offense, it should be in the mix for bowl eligibility. I'm giving you 5, maybe possibly 6. So I call it 5.5 because you can get in that if you get lucky and get some of them key wins, and Lewis has the ability to do that for you. You could really see that happening. We're gonna go from another 0-8 MAC team to a Mountain West team to another 0-8 Mountain West team. Let's talk about the New Mexico Lobos. Discussing New Mexico Lobos, who had a 2-10 record overall and an 0-8 in the MAC last year under Coach Danny Gonzalez. They're aiming to revive their struggling program. Yeah, it's been struggling here lately. The Lobos have made significantly transfer additions on their offense, including UAB's quarterback, Dalen Hopkins, and wide receiver. On the defense, the Lobos face a tall task in rebuilding, but they have some key transfers to help them improve. What we're looking at here, the key to New Mexico's success will be getting pass production. Their passing game must be more functional to support the team's growth. What we're looking at there, we're looking at some of the growth, the potential of this growth of this team is going to be played. But the New Mexico's top transferring quarterback, Dylan Hopkins, who will provide stability and production at the quarterback position. So you got to really look at the quarterback position here. You got to really look and tend to that narrow up there. You got to really tend to what they are doing and how they're doing. Can they get any better? Yes, I think they're gonna have 4 wins. It's a stepping stone. You gotta understand. You gotta understand they're building blocks. It's a stepping stone. It is a stepping stone to everything going from an 0-8 team, 2-10 team overall, 0-8 in the Mountain West. And you got to build blocks. You got to build it. So you had 2 wins last year. If they get 4 wins, that's 2 more wins than they didn't have last year. So that gives you 2 more take the 2 losses out. So you're gonna go 4-8. That could be a possibility. But if they get some good breaks and some good play, anything could happen on the start. Because if you just look at the paper-wise, you only see 4 wins on the paper-wise. But the team's got to perform out on the field. So that's got to be the key for the New Mexico Lobos there, for the Lobos. If they can do what they need to do to give them a dominance force on the run and passing on the offense, if the offense can convert on 3rd down more than when they're kicking and punting the ball and getting that red zone and doing more than just kicking field goals and getting points, they could be a really effective team and a really dangerous team in that Mountain West. So I still see some improvement, but it's still going to be some growing pains. The fans is going to probably be aggravated here a little bit more, but I can't give you when I can't see. I can only see with 4 wins. Possibly go back 2 wins, maybe. But I'm giving you the 4 wins. I can't get no higher than that. So that's I'm sorry for you Lobos, but it's going to be a tough football season for you this year. How about San Diego State Aztecs? We're going to move right along right now. The Aztecs were 7-6 overall, 5-3 in the Mountain West last year under Coach Brady Hoke. Remember, Coach Brady Hoke was on the Michigan sideline for the Wolverines. He'll be aimed for a strong force in the conference. San Diego State offensively improved last year with quarterback Jalen Maiden leading the passing game. They look to continue that process and cut down on mistakes. Defensively, the Aztecs are known for their stoutness, but they need to generate more turnovers to be even more effective. So you got to look at it. You got to be more effective on the defensive side. They got to get get the teams off when it gets down in that third and short or third and long and get them off the field. They got to get their offense back on the field. If they can do that, I think they have Aztec could go a long ways here. Limiting mistakes will be the key to San Diego State's success. Avoiding penalties and turnovers will help them consistently perform at a high level. That's talking about, if you're talking about avoiding penalties and turnovers, penalty is like a discipline. I don't care what nobody says. You got to hone your craft. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know where the plays going, where the holes are, what your blocking scheme is going to be against the team's defense. You got to watch films on the team. But discipline, like false starts, that's undisciplined team. You should know the scout count. You should keep it in your head. If you don't know, watch the ball. Take a look. Keep it out of your peripheral vision. Penalties is what you call undisciplined football. If you get more penalties, you're playing you're playing not disciplined enough. Undisciplined. You need to play defensive. You need to play very good, stellar football and keep the penalties bare minimum. You might get called for a holding. Sure. But the false start, it should be no sense in teams getting off false starts. So they got to avoid that penalty. Turnovers, they cannot keep throwing balls to the other team. They cannot keep fumbling the ball. They have to cut down the turnovers. The defense has to create more turnovers. If they can win the turnover battles on the defensive side, I think that we're going to see the very good chance for the Aztecs to move right along in the Mountain West. Well, can we look at some of the San Diego State's top transfer wide receiver, Ralph Williams from Western Carolina University, adds production to that receiving corps. He was an outstanding wide receiver at Western Carolina University, the football championship division. But he's moving up into the FBS division, the football subdivision. My prediction for San Diego State, I see him at 7, possibly 8 wins. So I give it a 7.5 to give that advantage of going up, rounding up to 8. They have a balanced team with a better run defense against top opponents. They'll be in the mix for the Mountain West title. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about their defensive priorities. I'm talking about the defensive side. That it's got to be there, what you're talking about. And that's the thing that you really got to see here. How about let's move on moving right along. We're going to San Jose State Spartans, who have a record of 7-5 overall, 5-3 in the Mountain West last year, under Coach Brent Burning. They build consistency success over the years. San Jose State offense was efficiency last year, especially with quarterback Chevan Cardero leading the way. They aim to maintain that efficiency despite losing key players. On the defensive side, however, must optimize their pass attack, support their growth and performance in conference. The key to San Jose State success will be completing more passes, providing better pass support for their offense. So once again, the offensive line pass protection, you got to keep the quarterback upright. You can't have pressure. You get pressure on, he throws more turnovers. You got to keep efficiency football. You got to keep him out of there. You got to keep him upright. You got to have him time to throw to the receivers. Let that work for you. San Jose State top transfer quarterback Jay Butterfield from Oregon brings experienced talent to the quarterback room. Well, that could bring some experience there. We don't know exactly, but on paper, they look like they could get 5, maybe 6 wins, get bowl eligible. This could be their goal for this year. Keep building, and you might turn it into a winning product here. They're showing consistently with 3 bowls in 4 years, and with more efficiency passing, they should be competitive again. So can they make it 5 straight? They could if they are competitive and they keep everything where they're looking at here. So the Mountain West is more, but it's attainable for them, for each team to win here this year. Let's go lastly, but not least, the UNLV used to be called the Running Rebels in basketball. Now they're the Rebels, who had a 5-7 record overall, 3-5 in the Mountain West last year, under coach Barry Odom. They look to turn things around and build a more robust program. UNLV's offense has potentially established in their ground game, but they'll need to improve their passing game to support their ground attack. On defense, UNLV brought transfers to strengthen their unit and brings a defensive first approach. What are we looking at in the defensive side here is the key to UNLV's success will be developing on the credible air attack and avoiding self-inflicted wounds like turnovers and penalties. Let's talk about that a little bit here. What is the downfall? What is the downfall to this issue here when you turn the ball over? Your downfall is you have to figure out how you can overcome with some of the turnovers. Turnovers is going to happen. I mean, somebody's going to strip the ball. The quarterback's going to make one bad play, but you have to overcome and put that in pass. You cannot let that one turnover inflict more turnovers in a game. Your quarterback's got to have a short memory if he throws an interception. Your running back's got to have a short memory if he fumbles the ball. Your turnovers and penalty turnovers will kill you each game. Undisciplined football for penalties. You got to be disciplined. That turnover, you got to make sure your offensive line is protected. Make sure that the running back's got two hands on the ball security. You learned that all the way in Pee Wee football. For UNLV to be successful, UNLV top transfer running back Vincent Davis from Pitt adds experience and talent to that backfield. My prediction for the UNLV Rebels in 2023 season is a 5-win season. They have a potential to improve with better defensive play and a physical, but they'll still face some close losses. So they got to win some close losses there. They got to win that thing there. So that's something here. Let me go over here. I got it. Tony Hollywood says, Ray, do you see a conference that has the best quarterback group? I'll answer that in a minute. A lot of people say that Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, and DJ transferring from Clemson to Oregon State, Michael Penix, and the Pac-12 has the best quarterback groups in a conference. Guess what, Tony? I'll be answering that here momentarily when we go to the Pac-12. It's coming up next after these breaks here. So I'll answer those questions for you coming right out of the break. So let me just finish up here with the Mountain West, and then we'll be talking about the Pac-12. So stay tuned, Tony. Don't go nowhere. I'll give you your answer here soon. And there you have it in the 2023 college preview of the Mountain West Conference. Each team has strength and challenges, but we can expect exciting football action in the upcoming season. As always, anything can happen in college football, and a surprise are bound to occur. So be prepared for some intense gridiron battles in the Mountain West this year. So we'll be right back. Stay with us. We're going to be coming and we'll be breaking down the Pac-12. And I will be answering Tony's question coming after the break. Be right back on the All Sports All Place Network. College Breakdown. I am Ray Cruz, your host.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
is the Funks D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at funksdnetwork.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the College Breakdown on the All Sports All Plays Network. I am your host, Ray Cruz. We are continuing right along on our 2023 college preview, and we're now going to focus on the Pac-12 Conference. In this segment, we'll be taking an in-depth look we're going to be taking an in-depth look of the Pac-12, the deep look at the Arizona Wildcats, Arizona State Sun Devil, the California Golden Bears, Colorado Buffaloes, the Oregon Ducks, the Oregon State Beavers, Stanford Cardinals, UCLA Bruins, and USC Trojan, and the Utah Utes and Washington Huskies and the Washington State. So we are going to continue right along here to the Cougars. Let's drive right into it. Let's go here. Before we talk to Arizona Wildcats, I'm going to go back to put this question up here for the time being here. I'm going to answer Tony right now on this question. He says, Ray, do you see a conference that has the best quarterback group? A lot of people are saying Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, DJ transferring. I'm talking about DJ Ogulea from Clemson, Oregon State from Clemson to Oregon State. Michael Penix, that Pac-12 has the best group of quarterbacks for a conference. Your thoughts? Well, my friend, I'm going to tell you, they will be part of one of the best quarterback groups in conference play, out of all the conference. I mean, you got ACC's got something, got a few there, and Armstrong at NC State, Drake May at North Carolina, the quarterback that replaced DJ at Clemson. So you got some good three there in the ACC. But you're talking about a collective group. The SEC, they have some they're goods, but they're not going to attach what you see with this group. Bo Nix has improved last year for Oregon. He got injured. Now we're going to see how he comes back. He played injured. Toughness as a kid. Caleb Williams, the Heisman Trophy winner, coming back. Under the tutelage of Lincoln Riley. We know how good the offensive that Lincoln Riley runs. DJ transferring in, that's gonna be the key. I think out of all of them, he is the weakest one, I think, out of all. But we don't know. It would have changed the scenery. Usually, sometimes a change of scenery might redrive that quarterback niche because he doesn't have that pressure at Clemson off of him. Now he is at Oregon State, to which they're building a team. They were good last year. They're building their team, but they don't have the pressure of winning a national title as Clemson does. And I think the pressure really got to DJ in that year down in Clemson when he started forcing turnover. He had a great game against Notre Dame when he first came out. No doubt about it. He showed the ability that he got the capability of being a big time player guy. So you're looking at that. I think out of all that, I think Caleb Williams is going to be right back up there again. Bo Nix is going to show him more improvement. Michael Penix, unbelievable that he did at Washington last year. But to me, I think out of all those, DJ is the one that you really got to watch out and see how he's going to perform. Because Oregon State is going to go as DJ takes him. Now, if he can get all the turnovers out of his head and have a good season, this could be Dalabala. It could be one of the great quarterback groups in college football as a conference-wise. So I hope I answered your question there, Tony. But we're going to continue right along here in the Pac-12. Even though we have a lot of issues, a lot of news going on in the Pac-12, I will be covering all that on Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and continue right along here because I got to get this show completed here before the afternoon show. I don't want to take away from their audience. And I won't keep you here as long as stuff. So let's continue right along here with the Pac-12 here. And we're going first right out of the gates. We're gonna go with Arizona Cardinals. I'm sorry, Arizona Wildcats. Got Cardinals on my mind there. Jed Fisher's third year, 6-18, 7-19 overall, 2022. Record of 5-7 overall, 3-6 in the Pac-12. The Arizona Wildcats have been rebuilding under head coach Jed Fish, and they should show some improvement last year with a 4-win jump from the previous season. They want to continue their process this year. Excuse me, pushing forward for a bowl bid. That's their push. They got to get it to a bowl bid, then they can think jumping up a little bit more in that level. But the key to their success will be optimizing their porous defense while relying on their loaded, high-power offense. What kind of offense we're looking at? The Wildcats are led by quarterback Jaden DeLore, who threw for an impressive 3,685 yards last season. He will have a top wide receiver, Jacob Cohen, and Taylor McMillan as his primary targets. The run game is expected to be profound thanks to an improvement offensive line anchored by Jordan Morgan. Defensively, the former 5-star linebacker Justin Flo from Oregon will be a crucial addition, but must stay healthy to boost the struggling defense. Linebacker Jake Manu will also be crucial in supporting the rise. The line lost some top pieces, but the addition of Georgia's Bill Norton have provide a boost. So they got some good names coming in and buying some boosts for them. The Pound the Rock more, despite all the receiving talent, Arizona is 4-1 last year when running the ball for 160 plus yards. Ball control will be essential in helping their defense. Yes, ball control always helps your team's defense to stay. You get more if you keep it third and short, you get a lot of stuff going on and stuff. Losing wide receiver Darren Stinger to USC hurts quarterback Jalen DeLore, but healthy linebacker Justin Flo could have a massive impact on the front seven. Look at the quarterback Terrell Davis, the sophomore, must help generate takeaways from the departure of top quarterback Christian Roland Wallace. Interceptions were scarce for the Wildcat last season. Key game September 23rd on the road against Stanford. Stanford winning their Pac-12 opener on the road will be crucial for Arizona. Bowl push, especially given their 6-game losing streak against the Cardinals. What kind of aspect are we looking at? What kind of win total are we looking for Arizona? I think they're getting bowl eligible this year. I think they're getting 6 wins, but never no more. A little bit, could be a little bit less. The offense is expected to light up the scoreboards, and with a modest defense improvement, they have potential for some upsets. However, a demanding schedule with a few breaks or home payoff opportunities may challenge Arizona to suppress 6 wins. So there we go. Well, my friend Jay, I hope you're listening because now we are going to your Arizona State Sun Devils. Head coach Kenny Dillingham, first year, 2022 record 3-9 overall, 27 Pac-12. The Arizona State Sun Devils had a rough 2022 season, finishing 3-9 overall. However, with the new head coach Kenny Dillingham at the helm, they look to bounce back and utilize their talent to make a strong push this year. The key to their success will be generating more defensively takeaways, turnovers, while providing solid support to their veteran offense. The quarterback position is loaded with veteran Trenton Barquette, Drew Payne, and a star freshman, Jaden Rashid. Leading wide receiver, Elaine Badger returns, and the addition of Sacramento State transfer running back, Carmen Skibbo, is expected to blossom the running game. The offensive line, however, will need to be rebuilt around new transfers. On the defense, the Sun Devils struggled with generating takeaways last year, managing just 12 compared to 33 the previous year. The addition of Oklahoma transfer defensive end Clayton Smith should boost the pass rush. The linebacker and defensive backs are more profound but they must develop more star power. What is the key for the win? Generate takeaways. Arizona State has a significant drop in takeaways last year, and winning the turnover battle will be vital for their success this season. But losing offensive line, Ladarius Henderson, to Michigan is a setback, but offensive guard Ben Coleman's experience from Cal will immediately help the offensive line. Key players, quarterback Trent Burkett, Drew Payne, or Jalen Rashad. The Sun Devil has a wealth of talent at quarterback, and the one who emerges as the starter must lead the team to success. What kind of key game we're looking at here for ASU? October 7th against Colorado, a win against Coach Prime and the rival Buff will give Dillingham era momentum and is a crucial early win opportunity. Jay, I hate to do this to you, but I only see 5 wins for you. New head coach. Could be different. I possibly could give you 5.5, maybe that 6 win to get you bowl eligible. But despite having enough offensive firepower to suppress the defense significantly improvement, Arizona State may see close losses turn into upsets, leading them to a bowl eligibility year. I'm giving you some credit. I'm giving you some hope there, Jay. I'm giving you some hope right there because I didn't suppress you out not getting a bowl eligibility. I said you could get 5, possibly maybe that 5.5, that 6 win. But what needs to be improved is not your offensive side, it's your defensive side. If Arizona State can improve their defensive side of the ball, then we can see some nice genuinity there. So I mean that's some things you got to really think about and really hope that you can really sink in there. So that's something you got to really look at. So I hope I did you some justice there. Josh says, show's on fire. Let's go. Yeah, I'm ready, man. Football season coming back around. I'm getting everybody pumped up. I'm already pumped up. I'm ready to come. My co-host Dre will be back here in probably a couple weeks when we start the first initial college breaking down teams playing against each other instead of doing the previews. But I'm having fun doing the previews and stuff with y'all here on the All Sports All Place College Breakdown on the All Sports All Place Network. You know, the afternoon shows coming on after me. They gonna keep the momentum. I'm starting the momentum here on the network today. They will keep the momentum going forward and on down to the rest of our shows there. Stay with us on the All Sports All Place Network because we got you here with everything that you want to know about college football, NFL, combat sports, professional wrestling, baseball. You got it all here. You got the Chicago. You want to know about Chicago sports? Mike on the mic, man. He does a great job talking about Chicago sports there. If you want to know about anything, you know, tune in to all these great people. Prime is all over the network, man. He's a fantastic guy. Keeping all the shows. Josh and Jay with Throwing Hands. If you want to know about combat sports, boxing, those 2 guys got it. They put out content left and right. There. So I mean, we got shows here. If you don't want to know about Cleveland sports, hey, we got you covered too. You know, her in the huddle, man. She does a radio show, but she broadcasts on our All Sports All Place Network around 6:00. She'll talk all about Cleveland sports. If you want to know about Cleveland sports, you want to know about Cleveland Browns, hey, she gives it to you like it is. So you can stay tuned with the All Sports All Place Network here today. We got you all covered. All right, let's go. Let's continue right along with this here. Let's go to California Golden Bears. The Golden Bears. Head coach Justin Wilcox. In his 7th year, he's 30-36, 2022 record 4-8, overall 2-7 Pac-12. The California Golden Bears hope to turn things around after 3 straight losing seasons under coach Justin Wilcox. They made several transfers on both sides of the ball, and the offense is expected to open up under new coordinator, under the new offensive coordinator. And on the defense, getting off the field on third down will be crucial. TCU's transfer quarterback Sam Jackson will lead the offense, and he'll have new wide receivers to energize the passing game. Leading rusher Jaden Oat will be back, and veteran offensive line must improve their running blocking. The offense key will be generate big plays. If they get a lot of big plays, you're going to see a lot of things going. On the defensive side, you're going to look at linebacker Jackson Sermon and Florida transfer David Reese for an elite duo. UNLV transfer cornerback Nolan Williams blocks the secondary, and the defensive line must generate a more significant pass rush this season. Getting the defense off the field. Cal's tempo offense won't help teams of possession, so they must improve their efficiency on third downs to give their defense a rest. That's what we're talking about. Third down deficiency. Top transfer and departure linebacker David Reese from Florida will provide an instant impact along with Sermon at linebacker, while losing top wide receiver J. Michael Studevant to UCLA hurts the offensive firepower. So that really hurts you right there on the firepower. So that's something that you got to really look at too, as you're looking at the Golden Bears here. Look at quarterback Sam Jackson. The sophomore must energize the offense in a new up-tempo system, and his quick improvement is vital. I put the word vital. The heartbeat. If they take him away, they pull the plug on Kyle. October 7th against Oregon State, avenging an ugly home loss to the Beavers last year, will show Cal's progress. And winning this winnable home game is crucial before a tough midseason stretch. What do I predict for the outlook here for the Golden Bears? I'm giving them 5.5, possibly 6 wins. Could be much less. Could be at 4. I see them anywhere from 4, 5, and 6. But the talent level must improve, but the schedule remains challenging. However, Cal has enough firepower to cause an upset and push 5 wins for the first time since 2019. So that's a little bit of outtake there for this team. So I'm going to take a quick break again here because I want to keep you in suspense for the next team I got coming up. And it's a prime time is prime time. Stay with us on the All Sports, All Plays Network. This is the College Breakdown Show. I am Ray Cruz. We're going to be right back after these messages.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
This is the Funks D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at funksdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the All Sports, All Plays College Breakdown Show on the All Sports, All Plays Network. I am your host, Ray Cruz. Dre is still on vacation. He'll be back here shortly towards the end of this month when college football season starts rolling, when we start really breaking down the games here on the College Breakdown Show. Tongue twister there, stuff. But I told you I'm coming back here, and I gave you a little hint of calling prime time here. We're going to talk about the Colorado Buffaloes. Yes, prime time himself. All righty. Look at Colorado's record of 1-11 overall, 1-8 in the Pac-12. Head coach Deion Sanders, prime time himself. His first year, fourth year as a coach overall, 27-6. He had great success at Jackson University there for the HPUs. Now he's moving into the Power 5 Conference of the Pac-12. Coach Prime has brought his flashy style and a no-sense approach to Colorado to improve their performance. Coach Prime will need to juice up the woeful offense, porous defense, with transfers, winning turnover battles, and with a crucial focus on this game this year. Quarterback Shanier Sanders, his son, leads the revamped offense now coordinated by Sean Lewis from Kent State. The receiving core looks dangerous with wide receiver Xavier Weaver from University of South Florida and Travis Hunter, Jackson State. The offensive line will need some overhaul. However, the running back depth is considered their strength. But look at the new defensive coordinator, Charles Kelly, formerly of Alabama, inherits a destroys one of the worst defense I've seen in a while. However, cornerback Travis Hunter and freshman McLean are considered elite players. The transfers must rush the quarterback and support the development of their linebackers. Sustaining drives and converting on third downs will be crucial. Last year, insignificant offense put much pressure on the poor defense, so ball control will be essential for improvement. But cornerback Travis Hunter from Jackson State is a crucial addition, while quarterback Nico Reed's departure to Oregon is significant. Hunter is an elite, do-it-all playmaker. His presence will boost the defense. Let's look at some of the key players. Leonard Payne, a transfer from Fresno State, will be vital for the rebuilding defense. His experience and ability to disrupt the opposing offense in the trenches will significantly affect the team's success. The early matchup against Nebraska on September 9th is a must-win opportunity for Colorado, starting with the season with a victory against another rebuilt will set the tone for their campaign. With the talent influx will gradually paid off, but early struggles are likely with so many new pieces. Expectations are set around 4.5 wins. Anything more than 5 would be an excellent start for Coach Prime. Will be an excellent start for Coach Prime. So that's a look right there of that for Coach Prime and the fluctuations. So that's something we got to look at. Deion Sanders, he's no nonsense. You show up to practice. You be professional. You're gonna dress professional. You're gonna be professional, or you ain't gonna play for him. Corn Blair, I like his coaching style. You're gonna be a disciplined football, one way or another. He is teaching you a life lesson, being professional, worth ethic, and being nice. So that's some really stuff that you got to look at for Coach Prime. Colorado could be a dangerous team going into the latter part of the season. Maybe you're gonna have some struggle at the beginning because of getting everything the continuity and all that stuff for the first month could be a struggle. But you're going to see his team will prevail and improve as the season going on. And when you get to that later months, they can provide a crucial upset here and there. I think they can make a bowl game, but I'm not going past the 4.5, maybe 5 wins because of the early struggle at the beginning of the season. So that's my expectation on Coach Prime in his first season at Colorado. All righty, man. So we got that out of the thing here. Next team is the Oregon Ducks. 22 record was 10-3 overall, 7-2 in the Pac-12. Head coach Danny Lanning, second year, 10-3. The former Georgia defensive coordinator turned head coach last year. Went there and he produced a good season for the Oregon Ducks. The Oregon Ducks have been consistently successful, winning 10 or more games in 3 of the last 4 years. That's how productive they have been in the last 4 years. But they are still seeking a breakthrough in the college playoffs with a reloaded offense and defense boost by high-end transfer. The Ducks can become the Pac-12 frontrunners if they can avoid upset losses like Oregon State. Just putting it there. Put some thoughts in your mind for the Duck fans. The Ducks offense is led by a Heisman hopeful quarterback, Bo Nix. We talked about this earlier with Tony's question, who threw for an impressive 3,593 yards last season despite some offensive line turnover. Nix will have a stacked group of playmakers around him. Running back Bucky Irvin, elite wide receiver Tony Franklin are returning, and a high-end transfer has blustered the wide receiving core with the offensive looks to be one of the team's strengths. Don't get the high-flying Ducks flying again. The defense, which was a bit leaky last season, has received a significant boost from SEC talent transfer, Alabama cornerback transfer, Kyrie Jackson, and a pass rusher, Jordan Birch from South Carolina, are expected to make an impact. The Duck must find suitable replacement for linebacker Noel Swill, who departed, will leave a big void. Yes, it will. The pass rush on that. He was getting double teamed and leaving other people being free. For the Ducks to improve, they must revive their pass rush. Managing just 18 sacks last year was a weakness, and keeping pressure, disruption against well-elevated defense and help in third down situations. But we talk about defensive end, Jordan Birch addition from South Carolina brings crucial pass rush potential, with linebacker Justin Flo departing to Arizona as a significant loss. Offensive tackle Anija Cornelius, a transfer from Rhode Island, is crucial in protecting quarterback Bo Nix' blind side. His performance will be vital for the success of the offense. And that's what I was talking about. You got to keep him upright. He got injured last year. They got to have somebody to protect that blind side for Bo Nix. Give him time to make completion down the field to these talented wide receivers. The matchup against Washington on October 14th is crucial for the Ducks. Avenging last year's crushing loss in the rivalry matchup could play a determined role in the Pac-12 title hopes. I look at this win for the Oregon Ducks. It's set at 8.5, could be possibly 9 or 10. If they faces the challenge from the Texas Tech and tough road games against other top Pac-12 teams. However, with the firepower, they remain favored to win the North Division. 8 and 9 wins could be a good outcome. Anything less will be disappointment. So that's something that we really got to look at here for the Oregon Ducks, who had some setback loss against Oregon State, Washington. Defense was leaky. The protection of Bo Nix was suspect. That has to be picked up again this year. They have to pick it up this year. They have to set the stain this year, and they have to set it all previously that way. That's something that you really got to look at for the Oregon Ducks. That's got to be the foundation this year, is protection the blind side of Bo Nix, keeping him upright so he can make those plays down the field. You want Bo Nix to be in the pocket more than him outrunning and less trying to get injured. That's going to be the key this year for the Oregon Ducks. You Duck fans, you got to think about it. You can have anywhere from 8 to 10 wins this season. Anything lower than 8 wins, it could still be a failure because you have one of the top tier quarterbacks in college football. People might be laughing at me, but I'm serious. Bo Nix has revalued themselves coming out of Auburn to Oregon and under Kenny Dillingham last year. Provide. Now we're going to see what the new offensive coordinator does. If he keeps that successful momentum that Dillingham had with Bo Nix in that offense. But we know Landon's a good defensive coordinator, head coach. So then the defense is going to have to be better than his expectation. I know that wasn't his expectation coming from Georgia last year to a defense that, gave up some plays here and there, cost some of the games. So that's something you got to really look at about it for Oregon here. Let's talk about their counterparts in that civil rival. The Oregon State Beavers is coming up. Had a successful season last year, winning 10 games for just the third time in their history under coach Jonathan Smith. Replicating their stellar defense without several stars will be a challenge. But they have a loaded offense led by quarterback DJ Ugalea. I don't know if I pronounced his name right, but it's close. I'm just going to call him by DJ. DJ, a transfer from Clemson, brings prodigious talent to lead the offense have some excellent targets and wide receiver Anthony Cole and running back Demarion Martinez and Deshaun Fenwick. The veteran offensive line is one of the Pac-12's best, strengthening their offensive capabilities. The defense must find replacement for linebacker Omar Spitz and pass rusher who left. Linebacker Andrew Catfield must still step up to fill that void left by Spitz. However, the safety Ryan Cooper and Ken Alpeo are considered the elite, and the teams will look to generate takeaways again. Key on the season is minimizing turnovers will be vital for Oregon State success last season. They went 10-1 when they gave away the ball less than 4 times, but 0-2 when they had more turnovers. Quarterback DJ Ugalea from Clemson is a significant addition while losing tackle machine. Linebacker Omar Spitz is a massive loss. That's why you got this year's key player looking at is linebacker Andrew Catfield, who must step up and fill the void by Spitz. After the standout performance last season, his production will be crucial for the defense. What kind of key games we're looking for Oregon State this year? The matchup against Washington State on September 23rd is essential for Oregon State. Winning the Pac-12 opener would position them for success, run with a manageable schedule. That's going to be DJ's Ugalea's coming up party right there. If we're going to see what he has when they go up against our Washington State team, another Pac-12 team, will he be the quarterback that left Clemson and left the bag, DJ at Clemson, and brought the potential that they was recruited for? So that's something we got to really look at here. The win total for Oregon State Beavers is set at 7.5. I give them 8 maybe. While their defense may regress slightly, but their offense is expected to improve with a favorable home schedule. Another 8-9 win season is likely, and they will be contenders in that North Division. So that's something about you got to look at Oregon State too. What kind of quarterback play are we going to get from DJ Ugalea? Is it going to be the one that we saw at Clemson? Or are we going to be the one that we saw at that Notre Dame game when he played out of his mind? Yes, he lost, but he still played out of his mind when Trevor Lawrence was hurt. If we get that one, Oregon State could be a dangerous team. But if we get the one that played last year, turning the ball over, Oregon State could be in some considerable trouble in that offensive side of the ball. On paper, they look challenging, but you have to do it on the field. You can't be paper. You can be paper champion all you want to in your mind, but you got to perform on that field. And what will we see at the quarterback position? And when we talked about it, and that Tony's question earlier, when we talked about that question, I told you DJ is the weak spot of that quarterback group. Now he could prove me wrong this year and play out of his mind. But I think what we've seen over the time, what will he do? And the first game of the season is going to be crucial to get his mindset right. If he doesn't do all these turnovers and he win the game, it could boost a big confidence into him this year. All righty. We're going to move right along to the Stanford Cardinals. Stanford Cardinals was 3-9 overall, 1-8 in the Pac-12. But yes, you heard it right. First year head coach, Troy Taylor. Fourth year overall. He's 38 overall. First year at Stanford. After recent struggles, Stanford Cardinals aim to revive their program under head coach Troy Taylor. The offense is expected to improve, but the defense faces challenge with massive turnovers, and stopping the run will be crucial for the team's success. The quarterback position is open with Austin Daniels, Ari Payu battling for the starting role. Running back E.J. Smith has talent, but his availability will be vital as he's been injured prone. Tight end Benjamin Yorski is a star in the offense, while the offensive line rebuilds after losing some key players must improve. Once again, another conference, another issue with some offensive line play. And I said it before, the offensive line play is a key. The defense we look at here lost several linebackers and pass rushers, which could be challenging. Miami transfer Gaithan Bernal is expected to help the run defense needs significant improvement. Secondary requires more experience, and generating turnover is going to be crucial this season. For Stanford to improve, they must stop the run. Last season, they allowed 224 yards rushing per game, fifth worst in the nation, and had an 0-8 record when allowing 160-plus yards on the ground. That has to be the thing. I think that transfer from Miami will get linebacker Gethero Bernil. Addition for FIU provides instant linebacker production. On the other hand, losing multiple starting offensive line, Walter Rouse hurts the offensive line. Offensive tackle Alex Banks is going to be one of the key players. A transfer from Harvard has a crucial role in protecting the blind side. After the departure of Walter Rice, keeping the quarterback clean will be vital for the offensive success. Key games this year will be the rivalry game against California on November 18th. Is essential for Stanford ending the season with a win against their rival, energized the Cardinals, who have lost 2 straight big games. Cardinals don't look good for you because I'm only predicting you have 4 wins. I don't see you going 5. I can see you going anywhere from 3 to 4 this season because the team is going through a rebuilding phase. And while improvements are expected on the offense, the defense needs a major overhaul, and that's going to be your downfall with a round of 3 to 4 wins likely in this building year. Sorry, Cardinal fans, but that's all I think I can look at you right now. Your defense is your liability. If they can come out and play some better, then you might see that coming. But we're going to move right along to the UCLA Bruins. We're winding down the show for the day here. I know it's supposed to be a 3-hour show, but I am bringing it down here a little bit close because I have some other stuff to do today. 9-4 record, 6-3 Pac-12. Head coach Chip Kelly, 6-27-29. UCLA Bruins came close to the Pac-12 title game last year, and even with several stars leaving the team, is expected to remain in contention. Key defensive stops will be crucial for their success. Star quarterback Darian Thompson-Robinson has departed, but head coach Chip Kelly has options like Deontay Moore at quarterback. The running back room is stacked with Ball State transfer Carson Steele joining the team. The offensive line and wide receiver have high-end transfers bolstering the offensive unit. The linebacker core with Darius Masu and Latu is elite. The secondary has experienced players returning. However, the defense needs to correct some lapses from last year to generate more takeaways. That's going to be a key, taking away the football for UCLA in the defense. UCLA's success will depend on winning the turnover battles. They were 6-0 when recording 2+ takeovers last year, just 3-4 with 1 or fewer takeovers. Defensive disruption will be essential for the team's improvement. What kind of transfers and departures we're looking at here? Running back Carson Steele, addition from Ball State, provides a physical dimension to the Bruins offense. On the other hand, losing offensive tackle Cortland Ford to Kentucky hurts the offensive line. Key player, offensive tackle Kinjuru Kantuna is a transfer from Old Dominion, will play a crucial role in replacing NFL draft pick O'Neal, protecting the blind side of the new quarterback. The key matchup against Utah on September 23rd will be a crucial measuring stick for UCLA. A victory in this early road game could set the tone for their season. I'm looking at 8 to possibly 9 wins for UCLA this year. The team has talent despite significant losses. And if they can win big early road tests and avoid upset losses, they have potential to match up their 2022 season and remain in contention for the Pac-12. So, what does Chip Kelly got to do to make UCLA relevant back into that powerhouse team, into a new powerhouse team, and taking them to the step that he took with Oregon? What does he have to do? Sum it up a little bit. His defense has got to play better. Offense, I think, is significantly good. But the defense was the issue last year and could be the issue this year with some of the key losses they had. So they have to bring it up and really tie that into that niche. So I think that's something we got to look at here. But I need to take a break real quick here. Yes, coming up next. If you got your protection, we're talking about the Trojans. We're coming back here. We're talking about the USC Trojans and Lincoln Riley's offense and Khalil Williams, think one of the best quarterbacks in college football this year. So I am Ray Cruz. This is the All Sports All Plays College Breakdown on the All Sports All Plays Network, and we'll be right back after these messages.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
This is the Funks D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at funksdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the All Sports All Plays College Breakdown Show. I am Ray Cruz. We are on the All Sports All Plays Network. Coming up next will be the Afternoon Blitz with Chris and the gang. They do a great show there. and continue watching because he does the Easy Money talk show too on here. So just keep it right along with the All Sports All Place. We starting the momentum. I'm starting the momentum off. Let's keep the momentum going here on the All Sports All Place Network today, and keep coming right along. So let's continue right along. I gave you a little teaser. I hope you got your protection. The USC Trojan is coming up right now on the All Sports All Place. They're the next team we're talking about in the Pac-12. They're 11-3 overall, 8-2 in the Pac-12. Lincoln Riley, second year, 11-3, 7th overall, 6-13. Under the guidance of head coach Lincoln Riley, USC has become a contender again. The influx of high-impact transfers is expected to optimize their stellar offense while evaluating the inconsistency of their defense. Surviving a tough schedule will be crucial for the college football playoffs hopes this year. What kind of offensive breakdown we're looking for the Trojans here today? The explosive offensive return of Heisman candidate quarterback Caleb Williams. He is battling for another Heisman Trophy. Can he match Harvey Griffin with back-to-back Heisman Trophy? The only back-to-back Heisman Trophy winner, who had a remarkable 2022 season with the 4,537 yards passing and 42 touchdowns. He will have an elite wide receiver talent and running back Austin Jones and Lloyd to support him. The offensive line, however, must continue to protect Williams after losing key players. That's significant. The defense has made some significant additions, including new defensive tackle Keon Bars and Jack Sullivan and linebacker Madison Cobb. The secondary is talented, but must force more takeaways. And that's something that they haven't done last year, was forcing a lot of takeaways. Stopping the run will be crucial for the revamped defense, giving up over 300 yards rushing to Tulane exposed some vulnerabilities. The reason must eliminate any ground game weakness to succeed. Yes, all teams got to leave that. I mean, that running game can set you up. That running game can set you up a lot of stuff. So that's something that we really got to look at here on that issue here. Yeah, I'll take care of that issue when I get off the show today. Keon Bars, a transfer from Arizona, will be crucial in shutting down opponents' ground games. His size and line experience are what the run defense needs. What kind of key games are you looking at for USC? Guess what? November 11th. Circle that date. Oregon. It's essential for USC. Getting revenge in Eugene would boost their college playoff hopes to enter the home stretch, and a loss could damage their little title dreams. I predict them to be 9.5 wins, probably maybe 10, 11. I don't think they're going to go undefeated. They might have some slip up because of that defense lacking, but the offense is going to be brutal. Despite a brutal midseason road schedule, the team is loaded with talent and should reach double-digit wins if Caleb Williams stay healthy. They will remain firmly in the college playoffs mix. So let's talk about USC a little bit here. Let me talk about UCLA here a little bit. USC. We know that Caleb Williams is that great quarterback. We know Lincoln Riley is the offensive-minded guru. One thing that really hampers Lincoln Riley is that defensive side of the ball. Let's talk a little bit more about the defensive side. He recruits great on the offensive side. People want to come and play for him on the offensive side. Defenses that he has to get defensive coordinators and defensive coaches to go out and get the defensive side of players. To get excited to come to USC, yes, tremendous opportunities. That rich tradition, the history. He's got that all for him. His history at Oklahoma got it for him. People want to come and play for him for the offensive side. Now he needs to turn the juice and go to the defensive side and get players that want to come and play for him defensively. If USC had the same type of caliber players on the defensive side as their offensive side, this team will be hard to beat. It will be a legacy coming up, starting again. That's the issue USC always has and will have on Lincoln Riley is that defensive side of the ball. So if other teams can stop their offense and can match their offensive scoring, their defense will give up a crucial play that might cost them a game this year. That's what I'm predicting there. So let's go here. We're going to continue right along. We're going to talk about the Utah Utes. Utah is 10-4 overall, 7-2 last year in the Pac-12. Head coach Ken Dillingham is 19th year, 154 out of 74. He has a winning record. Impressive win totals there. Utah Utes are coming off back-to-back Pac-12 titles, Rose Bowl appearance with the head coach Ken Dillingham at the helm. The Utes have become a consensus powerhouse in the conference. They aim to take the next step in the college football playoffs. Quarterback Cameron Rising, who had an impressive numbers before suffering a torn ACL in the Rose Bowl, is expected to lead the offense. The receiving core remains solid, and the ground game behind a dominant offensive line looks promising. The Utes defense, which led the Pac-12 in sacks, was second in total defense last season, is strong. While they lost some key players and talented returning in the defensive line, linebacker core, and secondary. For the Utes to achieve its college football playoffs dreams, they must win at least one of two challenging road games against USC and Washington. Winning on the road against a top team has challenged the Utes. What are we looking at? Transfer. So we're looking at some of the transfer here in the defensive line coming in here. So, losing pass rushers Gabe Reed and linebacker Nemo Debat leaves a void on the defensive side. They have a defense that needs to be is undersized. Oh, then the line experience needs to shut down opponent's ground game. That's going to be a key. And like I said, the key matchup is going to be USC on October 21st is vital for Utah. And winning the early road test will position them well for the rest of the season until the rivalry game against USC. I predict to win 9, possibly 10 games. If the talent across the roster of the Utah Utes are expected to continue their winning ways, however, the brutal mid-season schedule will be challenging, and they might come up just short of crashing the college playoff party. That's a key. That's the key that we're looking at and we're talking about here for Utah. They can't overlook their opponents to try to get the USC because they got them in October. The first part of the season is going to be crucial for Utah to get out on the road, get out and get the wins right away. To get that momentum built to go to play USC. They can't have a blunder what they had when they came down to Florida and lost a game against Florida on the road. They have some key players they got to replace. Yes, all teams do. But you're hoping that your recruiting will eventually improve the roster as players leave. Key players leave, a key player will come in. That's all coaches' hope. So I'm just letting you know what's going on, that trend for Utah. So we're going to move right along here. We're going to talk about the next team will be the Washington Huskies. The record is 11-2, overall 7-2 in the Pac-12. Head coach Kalen DeBarro, his second year, 11-2, 8th overall, 90-11. The Washington Huskies had a breakout season under head coach Kalen DeBoer last year, going 4-8 to 11-2 with a potential offense led by quarterback Michael Penix Jr. One of the things we talked about earlier about the quarterbacks, and a defense with room for growth. They aim to make a run for the Pac-12 title and a playoff contention. Quarterback Michael Penix Jr. had an outstanding season leading the country in passing yards. He will have a top target in all Pac-12 receiver Roman Alzuzi and other talented receiver. The ground game has talented with running back Wayne Tella Apollo and Dylan Johnson, while the offensive line allowed the fewest sacks in Pac-12 last year. The defense was solid last season, but lacked game-changing plays, recording only 8 takeaways. The pass rush is expected to improve, and transfer will solidify the linebacking core. The secondary has experience, but needs to create more turnovers. That's been a theme here throughout the thing is more turnovers. So that's something that you really got to look at, that you got to really take in place there. Generating turnovers and creating defensive disruption will evaluate teams' performance. Transfer Jabbar Muhammad and others strengthen the secondary, losing key offensive tackle on the season. So that's something you got to really think about here. You got to really think about the crucial plays and how this thing is going to set up here. Once again, they got a vital discipline on their off defensive side. They got to get the thing going. The matchup against Oregon on October 14th is essential for Washington. Avenging last year's upset victory by Oregon would position them well for the Pac-12 title hunt. So that's something you got to really look at that too. Here is they can't overlook every other team before that October 14th. They still got to play those teams to get to Oregon, to be where they need to be, and hopefully they can upset Oregon. The win total for Washington is at 9, but talent-wise could be Kellen DeBoer's best team yet. While navigating a tough schedule with a challenging road game will be a hurdle, they are expected to achieve another double-digit win season. However, the conference crown is not guaranteed. They might fall just short of making the college football playoffs. So, I mean, you got to really look at that situation there with this team. They have the talent to do with it. They have the talent to do what they needed to do. So that's something about Washington. Washington is going to their offense is going to take what Michael Penix Jr. takes, regardless what did you say about the running back position? If he gets injured, their season could go down. I think Michael Penix Jr. is one of the best quarterbacks in this conference, behind Williams and Bo Nix, just in front of DJ Ugalea. That's just my opinion. But I think this team could go as far as Michael Penix Jr. takes them, and as far as the offensive line, making sure he stays healthy. The defensive side of that ball for Washington is a key. They got to be more disruptive. They had some games that didn't even create turnovers in, and it was close games. And like I said, that game October 14th is going to be a key for them. So, well, moving right along, we're going to cross the state of Washington to the Washington State Cougars. 7-6 overall, 4-5 in the Pac-12. Jake Durkin's third year is 10-9 under head coach, but I don't think he's there no more. Washington Cougars progressed last season with a 7-6 record and a bowl appearance with a new offensive coordinator and change on both sides of the team. The new offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle, is expected to reinvigorate the Cougars' passing attack. Veteran wide receiver Renard Ball and Lincoln Victor will be the top targets. The backfield has Nakia Watson as the running back and the offensive line has some experience but must replace 2 starters. The defensive line is a strength with Brennan Jackson and Ron Stone Jr. providing the solid pass rush. The linebacker core adds transfer Ahmad McCarkland and Devon Richardson blossoming the unit. The secondary is experienced but needs to create more turnovers. Again, that's the same thing with Washington Huskies is the Washington State. They need to create more turnovers. The new offense may take time to mesh, but it should be explosive once it does. Patience and allowing the coordinators to maximize their talents with crucial for the offensive success. Transfer Ahmad McCullum and Devin Richardson provides depth to the linebacker core. Losing quarterback Cam Ward is a notable departure, and a new quarterback must step up. Defensive tackle Brennan Jackson will be crucial to providing a solid pass rush. His impact on the defensive line will be essential for the defense's success. A key matchup again is against Oregon State on September 23rd. Will be an early test for the Cougars. Winning the Pac-12 opener will set a tone for their conference play. A lot of people open season with their conference is going to set tones for people. Whoever comes out of that victory, if they can come out and mesh up and upset against Oregon State, could happen. But the win total for the Cougars is set at 7, while the team is heading in the right direction. Under Jake Durkin, they're navigating a tough schedule with several line games could lead to some losses. Expect the team to push for another bowl game, but a tremendous breakout season may be another year away. So that was a little bit of a rundown of the Pac-12. We got some more news for the Pac-12 coming up on Wednesday at 9 o'clock. I will be here. We'll be breaking down the SEC and the Sun Belt, and then we'll get into all the breaking news that happened with the big Pac-12 conference. Teams are moving to the Big 12 and to the Big 10. We'll talk about that. What kind of nationalities college football looking at? Is the passion of college football is changing the landscape? Doing away with some key rivalries that mesh that conference, and now changing the conference. Because you remember, the Pac-12 used to be named for Conference of Champions. Now you got teams leaving. Now they're not going to be that moniker is not going to be known as the Conference of Champions anymore, because a lot of their teams are moved out. So what is the state of the Pac-12? Are they going to lose their Power 5 eligibility of conference when these teams leave? So that's going to be a talk on Wednesday. Stay with us. This is a wrap for the day. Thanks for watching the 2023 College Football Conference preview. We got more coming up on Wednesday. We examine the MAC, the Mountain West, the Pac-12 Conference, to analyze the key players and storylines to watch this coming season. While this conference may get less national attention than the Power Conference, they are still full of talent, teams, and players that could make some noise this year. Look at the MAC, could be wide open. The several teams like Toledo, Miami, Ohio, and Central Michigan in contention. The Mountain West has perennial contenders like Boise State, Fresno State, and San Diego State, but watch out for teams like Utah State, and that could surprise. The Pac-12 seems to be Oregon's conference to lose, but USC, Utah, and Washington will need to make it easier. Will not make it easier for the Ducks. The college football is approaching, and the group of 5 conferences are ready to prove their worth. There will likely be some unexpected results, upsets, breakout stars from the MAC, the Mountain West, and the Pac-12 in 2023. It should make more exciting season out west and in the Midwest. We can't wait to see how it unfolds in just a few weeks. Thanks for listening to our 22-23 College Football Conference preview. We got more coming up on Wednesday. My name is Ray Cruz. This is the College Breakdown on the All Sports All Place Network. Stay tuned for the afternoon blitz with Chris and the gang. See you. Take it easy. Peace out. See you Wednesday.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. Great eye in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.